In this video, we will talk about complex expressions. And by complex expressions, I'm referring to a fraction within a fraction. So a quick example with just all numerical values, if we have 1/2 over the quantity 2/3 plus 1/4. So this would be an example of a complex expression with just numerical values, and we're going to see some here in a minute where we have variables involved. The first thing you need to do is simplify all the numerator and the denominator so that it has one fraction for each. Well, the numerator is already one fraction, so we're fine with that. The denominator, however, is not one fraction. So 2/3 plus 1/4 will be 11/12. So now we've added those two fractions, we have 11/12. And so from here, it really goes to the old rule that you learned a long time ago, which is how to divide fractions. So what you're really going to do is take the numerator, instead of dividing by the denominator, you will now multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator, which is 12 over 11. From here you can reduce, and you should reduce. In fact, I encourage you to reduce first before you actually multiply. So the 12 becomes a 6 because you reduce it with the 2, which becomes a 1. And so 1 times 6 is 6, and 1 times 11 is 11. So your answer is 6/11. Now we'll transfer that process. It's a very similar process to a complex expression with variables. For these two problems, we'll do the same exact process, except we'll just now need to consider the fact that we have variables in our expression. Now let's just focus simply on the numerator and denominator separately. So if we look at the numerator for problem number 1, we see that in the numerator we have two parts to the numerator. We have a 1 and a 1 over x, and they do not have a common denominator. The 1, recall, is just 1 over 1. So I've got an x here, but I don't have it with the other part of the expressions, which is the 1. So I'm going to multiply the numerator and denominator by x. So now I have x over x plus 1 over x, which simplifies to be x plus 1 over x. All right, the numerator I'll do in purple here, and again I have a 1 over 1, and again I've got 1 over x as my second part. So I'm really doing the same process here for the denominator. So I'm going to multiply by x and x, so now I have x over x minus 1 over x, which then simplifies to be x minus 1 over x. Now, putting this all together, which I'll do in red, I have x plus 1 over x minus 1 over x, which simplifies to be x plus 1 over x times x over x minus 1. So what I did was keep the numerator multiplied by the reciprocal of the denominator. Now, what I hope that you recognize right away is that the x factors do cancel out. Again, you can cancel out any factors as long as the factors are located in your numerator and denominator, meaning that if you see two factors that are the same that are both located in your numerator, you cannot cancel those out. And so finally, our final answer will be x plus 1 over x minus 1. For the second problem, it's a very similar process, except the fact that if you look at our numerator and denominator, they're a little more complex. So for the numerator, notice here I've got an x plus 1, but I don't have that with the first part. So I have to multiply this by x plus 1 and x plus 1. So now I have x plus 1 over x plus 1 minus x over x plus 1, which simplifies to be just simply 1 over x plus 1. So there we go. There's our numerator simplified. Going in, let's go with orange here. My denominator, this is 2 over 1. And this is just the right side is just x. So I'm going to multiply the 2 over 1 by x over x, which will then give me 2x over x minus 1 over x, which simplifies to be just simply x minus, actually it's minus a negative x, so therefore, I'm sorry, it's nothing over here, there's no constant, minus a negative 1, so that double negative changes that to a positive 1 over x. So putting it all together now, in red, I have in my numerator 1 over x plus 1, divided by my denominator here, x plus 1 over x. Okay, so from here I'm going to again keep the numerator the same, so 1 over x plus 1, multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator, so it's x over x plus 1, which there's no common factors in my numerator and denominator, so there's nothing I can cancel out. So I'm just going to rewrite it, and 1 times x is x, and I'm not going to actually multiply the denominator out, however you could. I will, however, rewrite it as x plus 1 quantity squared, since you have those two factors and they are the same.
I'm not a bug whale.